So, I mentioned before that under our municipal separate storm sewer permit, we are required to do outreach and education about stormwater management. And the principle behind the permit is that if we're going to get cleaner water, individuals need to change their behaviors so that we get cleaner water. And it's, not an educational discipline that's been around for very long. And there aren't a lot of people who've done work in this area. So when we found the Blue Thumb website, it was like, well, they are right on the same page with us, that their materials that they already had developed fit perfectly with our stormwater education goals, especially as it relates to the things that people can do in their yards, which is where a lot of people like to start. And I really liked the idea of developing this statewide synergy that had uniform messages that were very clear and accurate. As you start doing research about getting information that you're going to put into your educational program, you start reading books and you go on websites, and there's, you could read forever. And the amount of information that's available to us is just almost limitless. And it's just so nice to have one site where the information is very reliable, very concise, and just gets to the heart of the matter. And I just don't even recommend other websites anymore, because you can get what you need here. You don't have to do research on 40 different sites to pull out the things that you need. Also, because they took the effort to hire a graphic artist, they developed really beautiful designs, and they have a standards manual that defines the wording and the fonts and the logos, and it's all available to you. And so it's just easy to pull it out of their website and then apply it to things. And if you look at the things that we've produced back there, we dump the Blue Thumb logo onto it because it's all about spreading that Blue Thumb message. Also, their ideas are so fun, and what I found really great about it is that it's not only that the ideas that they presented were fun, but it catalyzed fun thinking for me. I'm usually in a regulatory mode, and I'm very narrow and serious, and to have somebody present something to me and remind me that, oh, you can learn and have fun, duh, what a concept. Hasn't that been the way it always was when we were in elementary and junior high, right? So it's just a great way to catalyze your own thinking about how you might want to apply these things in your own backyard. Their materials are very reasonably priced, so Dawn brought along some of their bookmarks and their brochures, and they are, you can get them through Blue Thumb as cheap as I can print them on my color printer at work. So when it's that inexpensive, you can't go wrong by just going ahead and purchasing materials that have been done in such an excellent, to such an excellent standard. And plus, if you want to become a Blue Thumb partner, it is very easy to participate. Their rules were you either provide 30 hours of service or you pay us cash for $1,500. Well, it is not very hard to get 30 hours of service in, because if you're sharing their brochures at various outlets that you may have, maybe a county fair or a workshop that you're doing, that counts. If you develop something on your own and then you post it on the website, that counts. She has pictures that she needs added to her floral suite, so your time in taking those and loading them onto the website. So it's very easy to participate. And it's also, just so easy for just the conventional kinds of uses. We took their stormwater, or their Blue Thumb web link, and put it on our stormwater website and linked it. We've been distributing their flyers and stickers at presentations, in our kiosks, at our county fair, and other various events, because people are very interested in doing gardening that helps clean up the water. We purchased a couple of the manuals and we gave them to our library so that we'd have one in the distribution for general circulation and one in the reference section. And so having that resource available for people that can't afford it takes away one more barrier. And then also we've formed a relationship with our local master gardeners, and now they have decided to have booths at our farmers market and at the county fair. And they always are taking Blue Thumb materials that we purchase, and then they distribute them on our behalf. So there's just one more partner that's getting the information out. So, those are the really conventional ways to get started that don't take very much effort. But the other reason that this became so valuable to us was that we were thinking about trying to set up some kind of a cost share program for promoting residential rain gardens in Rochester. And we formed a task force, and so they wanted to name it Realize Rain Gardens Rochester. And it was just so easy with Blue Thumb because they had resources that were applicable locally. The website information, the people networking is so important to be able to talk to people who've done this before and could help us through this process. And examples of cost share programs that are being done in other areas helped us develop a template. And as I mentioned before, the concept of idea generation for our rain garden party games. Some of you were playing the Name the Native Plant bit on the giant poster back there, just to get people familiar with these plants that maybe aren't familiar to them, that they have a different name. The Radical Roots quiz, like I showed you, to show people how long the native plant roots are and why they're so valuable. We put together a worksheet on calculating the size of the rain garden that came from the Blue Thumb, the manual, the rain garden manual, because we think that one of the barriers to people trying to do rain gardens is they don't know how to start, and they really don't know how big it needs to be. So to actually do an exercise where you calculate, you decide where you're going to put it on your yard, and you're going to calculate the size you need so that they know that they can get over that first step, and then they can get on to the plant selector tool, and that takes them to the second step. So it really starts removing some of the barriers to implementation. And then the Do You Know flashcard game. So, I mean, the possibilities for games are endless, and I suppose we could just get into the mode of playing games forever, but we want to actually get out there and get these implemented. And the other thing is that I personally have a philosophy that when public monies are spent for developing public information, that information should be widely distributed. And maybe it's not, perfect for your needs, but you should be able to get it in a format that enables you to modify it so that you can make it perfect for your needs. And so, we took their ideas, we made some modifications that we thought would work better down here. And after we did that, we've now posted that back to the website. It got me thinking about other activities like the runoff mocktail. So we wrote that up, and did it get posted yet, Dawn? I'm not even sure. I know I sent it to you. We'll have to make sure we get it posted.
It's posted for the partners, but not for the general.
And so I just want to give you an example. So just with this little bit of work that we did in tapping into Blue Thumb's resources, from May to December last year, we distributed 263 brochures and stickers. We spent 154 and a half hours either with our staff or through the master gardeners to do presentations and develop some of these resources. And that value was almost $2,000. So it's very easy to get your 30 hours in. And I'm now working with our local nurseries trying to convince them that they need to become Blue Thumb partners so we can expand that map. So I would say that if you live in outstate Minnesota, you can go to Blue Thumb and you can make this work for you very, very easily. So this next section on what still needs to be done, I guess I've got that next slide. For us in Rochester, I've already mentioned this, I'm trying to recruit other southeastern Minnesota Blue Thumb partners for that specific reason of making sure people know who the local seed sources are for this area for natives. And also, we need to go beyond rain gardens and expand our programming to include more native gardening and shoreline stabilization. And around here, we don't have much for lakes, but we do have a lot of stream miles that people live along. So there's an application there as well.